Hello, welcome. This is Michelle Barr, and I am here with the Chakra Money Map Challenge. We are on day 6, talking all about the third eye chakra. And already it brings up something really important. I love how the way I've created my entire business and my entire life is they're in sync now and they're aligned. And so how I create my business is by living my life and then sharing it and then turning around and helping other people do what I'm doing, be what I'm being, and have what I'm having, that where I spark that positive desire in them. So this is set as an 8-day chakra money map challenge, working through the chakras. We're doing one every day, and then we're building on the chakras. We're building that as we go. And my intention in doing it really quickly is certainly all the things are not going to be cleared, healed, and resolved, integrated, settled in, and everything moved by doing one of these each day. But what happens is, let me check something really quick here. Yes. What happens is I work with energy and I read energy, I manage energy, I move energy. So my intention is to really move some energy as I'm working with you. And then you take this, getting settled here. All right. You take this and you work with it over the next 30 days and beyond. Well, I had a lot going on this weekend. I had 2 really dear friends come into town and my whole schedule got thrown off, and I come into these and I do clearing and healing work, and I'm doing energy work with you, and I'm bringing forward this information and I'm helping move energy, and things were getting squished, and then some things came up that needed attention. And so you want to create this structure, which is in the masculine. You're creating structure, you're creating form. I created the challenge. I get on every one of these with an outline and structure and information I want to bring forward and the work I want to do with you. And this is how I run my entire business and my life. And so many spiritual entrepreneurs I help, they're missing that because they love being spontaneous and in the flow. I didn't love routine at all. I like variety. I don't want things to be the same. I don't ever want to get boxed in. And yet I had to create things in my business that I then found actually gave me more freedom. So I create this structure, but I also leave room for flow. And it's that beautiful balance of structure and flow, masculine and feminine. And so I totally trusted. I rode the wave. I made decisions. I didn't ignore it when it was presenting itself. And I decided not to do day 6 when I would have done day 6 on Friday. And then we stayed up all night long, and again, a lot going on, and I was in the moment living it, and I didn't see the space for doing this the next day. And I just went with it, and I just kept getting. Now, I'm a night owl, and I'll work and I'll meet my obligations. So it's not that I said, oh, I can't do this. I want you to get this because we're in the higher chakras now for these last 2, today and tomorrow. And I want you to get this. We've been in those lower structured form foundation, and you have to build that solid. When I tried to live up here, but I didn't have that solid, and I didn't have my heart in a good place, it created a mess in my life. So I wouldn't have minded getting on here and doing what I needed to do. It wasn't about that. I kept checking in. And I will trust my intuition. And today the whole thing we're talking about is our intuition. And how do you know when it's intuition and when it's not intuition? So checking in with my intuition and realizing that something was going to emerge. And the two women who came to visit me are my spiritual running buddies. We've sat in intuitive circles together. So again, here I come today to talk all about the third eye chakra and about intuition. And I've been with them all weekend. We've been diving deep into it and catching up and just swimming in that energy and doing all of those things that really connected me again and really reminded me of living in that way. And we had synchronicities going on all weekend. We would be talking about things and then something would pop up on TV that was the same thing. We're out around the fire pit and then a message comes in another place, and it just kept happening over and over and over. So I realized I'm going to wait until Monday to do this because I'm living it right now. I'm having an experience that I can then bring to this that's going to make it bigger and better and more beneficial and more valuable. And so that's what I did. That's what I brought to it. And this is the whole thing about living with both. You don't totally cast off the masculine. You don't totally leave the feminine out of it. And I have done this dance, this balance between the masculine and feminine always. Always. It shows up in my life and in my business, since being an entrepreneur and your business plays out all your stuff and lets you work through all of that and is a huge spiritual journey and a teaching path. In my business, I have realized how this all plays out and what to do with it. And so it was great. And I really want to bring that as the opening today. Day 6, the third eye chakra. And it is all about embodying both your masculine and feminine energies and having the structure and foundation to support you and staying fluid and in the flow at the same time. And I would always tell my clients something I learned early on. Once I learned to build a container, so I picture it as this beautiful container that I can then pour my magic into. It's not rigid, it's not hard, it's this beautiful, clear container, whatever your container looks like for you, that I then pour my magic into. Starting with that, really thinking about that. This chakra is all about spiritual direction, wisdom, higher living, dreams, inner vision, spiritual life. Life lessons include understanding, reality checks, detachment, open-mindedness, trusting your intuition and insights, and developing your intuitive abilities. Self-realization, releasing hidden and repressed negative thinking, seeing things clearly, wisdom, intuition, intellect. It's that higher knowing. Working on this chakra and the lessons and issues around it bring in moving you toward joy, happiness, pleasure, and knowing what is right for you in relation to your money. So reminding you, you can take all kinds of journeys through the chakras. You can dive deep into any one chakra. You can journey through the whole chakras, and we are journeying through all the chakras with a specific focus on money. Knowing what is right for you in relation to your money. This is where trusting your gut comes in. You can see people when guidance comes in. I see it all the time because I serve intuitive clients, empathic clients, the helpers and healers. You can see when that guidance comes in, and then when they start talking themselves out of it and that battle that goes on. because when people come to me, a lot of times I love this. I've opened all the channels and I just show up being me. And that's what I teach my clients to do. So I'm out there actively being me, being visible, doing my part, and then the universe rushes in to meet me and does its part. Spirit does its part. Whenever I work with a client, it is always the client, me, and spirit. All of those have to be present, and that way I only have to do my part. Whew. And every time Spirit shows up and delivers, and the more I show up and deliver, Spirit shows up and delivers, and that's how the client has a transformation, and that's how the client has a breakthrough. And so people will show up and they'll say, I don't even know how I found you. I was asking, you showed up here, I clicked, somebody told me, I just found you. And I love that. And so they're trusting that to make that initial contact, and then all their stuff starts coming in, especially around money, regardless of how little or how much money they have. And it takes different forms, but it's always coming in a lot of the time in some way about money. And you see people talking themselves in or out of something. This is a journey I've really had because I have been prompted by Spirit through my intuition to make a lot of choices and decisions that from the outside appeared to be very risky, not popular, not what normal people do, not responsible, not a good idea, and yet they have paid off and made my life absolutely magical and abundant and prosperous in every way. And this is how I've taught my children to live. My oldest just turned 30 and they've all created these magical lives for themselves when so many of their age are struggling so much. My husband has created for himself what he wants and needs. It's been a journey over time as we learn to live this more and more. So my intuition comes in, and then I've got to learn to follow the breadcrumbs and go with it and not talk myself out of it. Financial decisions a lot of times can be based in logic, numbers, concrete facts, but the deciding factor has to be your intuition. This major area, finances, money, job, work, where people don't trust their gut because they have so much money crap that jumps in. And this is something I've really had to invest in since having a business, is the money mindset. Do you know that you already have the answer? What you have to learn to do is trust it. I've spent time developing my intuition. I've spent time learning to discern and distinguish between my intuition and my stories, between what's mine and what was imposed or impressed upon me. Some things for you to explore. Can you distinguish between your ego and your intuition? These potential clients that come to me, Spirit led them right there. They're asking, they're praying. Ask and it is given is infallible. It is universal law found in every sacred text. Ask and it is given. The opportunities show up. I show up as an opportunity. Boom, they're resonating. They know it. They acted on their intuition. They followed the breadcrumbs. But now their brain is getting involved because this becomes a buying decision. And people buy with their primal brain until they learn to trust their intuition. And your intuition will always serve you. And when you let your primal brain run things, a lot of times, you will create the very things you fear or don't want. Because whatever you say is. And that is the nugget for this chakra and the work around it. Whatever you say is. Are you going to tell those stories? Are you going to keep living what was imposed and impressed upon you? Or are you going to live through your intuition? When I made that change, it changed the trajectory and the quality of my entire life. I have come to trust it. So those clients show up initially nudged by spirit and lit up, and then they start getting run by fear and the ego. And the most painful part, and I've done some videos and Facebook Lives on this, and you can find those, is when they tell me, Spirit said no. All the signs are saying no. It's you getting in your way and throwing up roadblocks, and your ego, when it really sees you're going to become uncomfortable and do something that is uncomfortable, that is change, that could be risky, that's inconvenient or illogical, it will throw up that last ditch effort. It will throw a temper tantrum like a 2-year-old. And it's trying to stop you in your tracks, and people mistake that. Spirit wants for you what you want for yourself. Spirit is giving you opportunities to say yes to. You have free will. At the same time, you can create things that will tell you, no, don't go in this direction, don't do this. And all of a sudden you start bypassing that intuition that brought you the opportunity. It's so painful to see, because your intuition and spirit will never speak to you through fear. I remember there were times when a client would tell me, say things like, my angels or my guides kept telling me my website wasn't right and I had to rewrite the whole thing and I had to sit down. True story. And I was up all night and it's not right. Or my angels and guides told me I'm having some difficulties and it's because I'm not supposed to take this action or make this move. But the difficulties they were having in carrying out, I've decided to make this investment and I have decided to go forward with this. And then they mistook and misunderstood the things coming up. Everything that is not in alignment comes up to be cleared, healed, and resolved. The universe says, absolutely, you can have everything you're asking for, but you can't take this with you. That's why the crap comes up. That's why your stuff comes up. It is showing you the gold, and people mistake that Spirit is telling them no. And it's simply not true. And what happens is you'll turn away from it, you'll wait, and you'll go, maybe now Spirit will say yes, maybe now Spirit will say it's time. And guess what? You never broke through that wall. It's waiting for you. As soon as you turn back in that direction, it's waiting for you. And I have watched people over and over and over again bump up against that wall. You've got to break through it for the transformation. And it's up to you. Explore. Can you distinguish between your ego and your intuition? Are you honoring your intuition? Are you using your intuition to make financial decisions? Is your work aligned with who you are? Are you asking for money to come from Spirit through people? Are you offering who you really are? Is your work aligned with who you are if you are selling yourself? A shift for you to make here around this chakra. I recognize my intuition and I listen to it and follow its guidance. Your whole job is to keep working with this like I've talked to you about. And trust in your intuition. It's a journey. It's a journey over time. Some of the things you've maybe thought and said, you're thinking and saying, I don't know what to do. I don't trust myself. I don't trust others. What is my purpose? I get this one more than anything else, and I work with people. You already know it. It's inside of you, but I can help pull that through and reflect it back to you and then tell you how to live it out in a purposeful, tangible way. What is my purpose? What should I do? I don't want to make this decision. I can't make this decision. Can someone else make this decision for me? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? I should see what everybody else is doing. I need to ask others. I'm confused. I write blogs, I do Facebook Lives, I do videos on confusion. If you stay in confusion for any amount of time, it is serving you in some way. And the way to find your way out of it is to figure out why it's serving you, or you would get out of it. I'm confused. You concluded, I can't trust my own knowing. I tell people when they come in and journey with me and work with me, especially over an extended period of time, this is a process. And if you just take one little piece or a few pieces, it might not make sense to you. I'm asking you to trust the process. This is a 3-step. It is trust yourself, trust spirit, and trust the process. It's all about trust. And you learn to work it out. Again, each day I'm talking to you about constrictive thinking, which creates low vibration energies which you cannot manifest from, and expansive thinking, which opens your energy fields to receive and allow the things you're asking for that you are matching by your vibration. If you're creating a lot more crap than the good stuff, everything that comes in is showing you what you're a match for right now. It's going to be some of both. If it's much more crap than good stuff, that's the first thing you need to work with and address. Constrictive thinking. What's my purpose? I don't know it. I'm so confused. Should I or shouldn't I? I need to ask other people. What will other people say? My husband might not want me to. My family might say that's not a good idea. I always do things wrong. That's what they tell me. All of that is constrictive thinking instead. If I knew what my purpose was, what would I know? If I knew what to do, what would I know? What do I know? I know what to do. I take you through processes so that they help you because you do know what to do. Expanding. I trust myself. I trust spirit. And I'm going to trust the process. It has never let me down. When I follow the breadcrumbs, I learn to stay in intuition, and I understand consciously everything else that's going on. We're about to do some clearing and healing work, which I'm doing each day with each chakra. And you don't have to know how it works, but I always let you know because some of you are interested. You work with energy medicine and energy healing. I've studied in a lot of modalities over time. I love energy medicine. My first incarnation of my business working for myself was a local healing center where I did energy medicine and teaching, and then moved into other things, found coaching and speaking and all of that. So I'm going to let you know some of my go-tos for clearing and healing and resolving that I'm working with during this challenge with you are Access Consciousness, the One Command, Theta Healing, Sacred Soul Alignment, Ho'oponopono, and Matrix Energetics. And I'm going to take you on day 8, 2 days from now, through a really powerful sacred soul alignment where I'm going to give you a lot of alignments, energetic alignments and downloads that are going to wrap up all this moving of energy that we've been doing and all this shaking up of paradigms and belief systems and all this bringing in of the new. It's going to be like scrubbing you off now and cleaning you and sealing that and giving you that energy boost you need. So watch for that and stay tuned for it. Identify fears that you hold in this chakra. I am afraid of being overwhelmed. I am afraid to trust myself. I am afraid of who I will become. I am afraid to trust others. I am afraid of making the wrong decision. I am afraid I will stay confused. Feeling you have no choice and feeling you don't know are illusions, and a lot of times they're defense mechanisms you have created. If you allow yourself to stay in confusion, it is serving you in some way. If you can own that, you're going to come a long way. Feeling you have no choice and feeling you don't know, they are illusions. Explore this, distinguishing between your ego and your intuition. Continue to develop your intuition. Make sure you're spending time getting quiet and still and connecting. Some actions for you to take around this. Start with small things. Consult your intuition, follow your intuition, track, journal the results. Join an intuitive development circle or program or course. As I was really developing my intuition and my gifts and skills, I sat in an intuitive development circle that met every week for 3 years. And then later, before my most recent move, I sat in another circle for almost 2 years. 2 of those women that were with me this weekend were in a circle with me for that time. It builds, it grows, it helps you test all this out and get feedback and gain confidence and put yourself every week in a high vibrational energy. Plug into tribes that give you that, because the world in general, your workplaces, even your friends, your family are not giving you that a lot of the time. Meditate, journal, pray, reflect. Go on a spiritual retreat. I regularly schedule spiritual retreats. And the great thing about the business I'm in is they serve me personally and professionally because they help me be better for my clients. Learn more about how you best receive intuitive information. There are a lot of ways, and we're going to be stronger in some than others, and then some will come in as we develop. Visualize yourself having more money. Connect to the feeling. Use all the senses. And when you do, are you getting positive feelings? Are you getting negative feelings? Visualize yourself having more money. Notice what comes that tries to stop you from that. Also, give your money a purpose. Ask and know what you will do with it, and not just, I've got to make more money, I'm so in debt, pay off the bills, the car broke, the kids need things, we're saving for college. Yes, meet those needs, but ask the universe for things like a spiritual retreat. Dare to dream it. When I want and need something like that, I never say, I want you to get this. It's energetic and it's a huge shift. I never say I cannot afford that or I don't have the money for that. I say I choose not to spend any of the money I have right now on this because it is earmarked for other things. I am creating now the money for this, and then I tap totally into the desire. And if the desire is there and aligned, and you can picture yourself, when I travel there, when I'm doing this thing, I just came back from a spiritual retreat. I didn't know the how. I just knew. I love this. I'm doing this. and I created the money for it. Then when the money you asked for that specific thing comes in, don't let your ego start saying, well, you really should put that here. You really should do this with it. No. Immediately say thank you, express gratitude, and put it toward what you asked for. That builds trust. That builds that muscle. This is super important. The number one block here is trying to see the world through other people's beliefs. Trying to see the world through other people's beliefs. Trying to filter your truth and ideas through all the overlays that have been put upon you creates confusion. Philosophers all the way back have said this simple thing: know thyself. One time I was in an intense spiritual study, a mystery school, and I had to write know thyself on a piece of paper and fold it over and leave it laying on my nightstand for a year. Know thyself. This is the key. This is what it's all about. Know this. You get to choose what kind of relationship you want to have with your money. This is conscious. If it's not for you, make it conscious. You get to choose what kind of relationship you want to have with your money. Tap into that. What do you have now? How positive is it? How negative is it? What energetic frequency is your money set at? You have a set point in dealing with your money. What energetic frequency is your money set at? Learn how to clear the energies around money that don't serve you. I have money mindset coaches. I have mindset coaches as well as business coaches that have helped me with this over time. Clear the energies around money that don't serve you. Have you given yourself permission to have more money? And are you stuck anywhere in the non-permission of others? I had a client who is starting to have these insights come up now that we are working together, that there have been non-permissions laid on her, making her believe, leading her to believe, because it's choice, but leading her to believe and conclude it is not safe to make more money than I am currently making or have ever made in my life. Then there are all kinds of reasons why that's true. Then we got to get to, why is that true for you? The most powerful way to manifest is to take aligned action toward what you say you want most. And now that we're working up in these chakras, inspiration comes in. Ideas and inspiration comes in from source. Desire rises up. You connect with it and you bring it into being. How much aligned action are you taking toward what you say you want most? And I will ask you this: how often are you sitting on inspiration? Are you sitting on ideas instead of acting on them when they come in? I have learned to act on them when they come in and follow the breadcrumbs is what I say. And it leads me like we have laid out the red carpet. And if you go now, it's going to be inflow and it's going to be easier than it ever was. That doesn't mean you still can't have it, but are you really choosing to have a bunch of struggle and challenge and rolling that rock uphill and it rolls back down, you roll it back up, and then you create a bunch of stories about it, and then you talk about how hard your life is, and then you find a bunch of other people that agree that their life is really hard. You see where I'm going with this? Then you create a group where you sit around and you support each other in those bullshit stories. And you get nowhere, but you sure have a cheering section, then those stories become what is. Do you really want that? Do you really want that? Some tools for working with this chakra. deep blue and red fruits, red wines, grape juice, pomegranates. And every time I tell you some essential oils, because I love essential oils and I work with essential oils, some essential oils that are great for the third eye chakra. Melissa, very powerful oil. I love it. Dispels darkness. Lemon, focus, uplifting. Rosemary, knowledge. Sandalwood, divine devotion. Clary sage, vision and clarity. Juniper berry, wholeness. Healing crystals. The color for this chakra is indigo. Some of the deep saturated blues. Clear quartz, once you get up here. Clear quartz, amethyst, purple fluorite. And any of the high vibration healing stones will react powerfully here. Remember, whatever you say is. And I tell you this every day. Money is not a measure of your value and worth. You are a divine spark. You are an expression of source energy. You are here on purpose. You are a precious child of God. You are loved for being. Money is a measure of the value and worth you are putting out into the world. Are you choosing to show up and offer everything you have out into the world? That's why sometimes things appear to be not fair in that arena. It's all about, are you offering all the value inside of you out into the world? And that's different. Everybody has their own journey. Also, each day during this challenge, we are rating ourselves on a scale from 1 to 10 on a statement. And on day 8, on the last day, we're going to work with these in creating our chakra money map. On a scale of 1 to 10 today, I see the big picture and how I fit in the world with my unique gifts. I always know that I am in the perfect place because the divine would never put me in the wrong place. I often get moments of clarity, insight, and intuition about my next steps. I see the world as infinitely abundant, regardless of the appearance of scarcity. Rate yourself 1 to 10, not what you want to be, but what you are. Take honest inventory, what comes up. This brings up something very important. Because especially those of us who study universal law of attraction, spirituality, we believe in a higher purpose, a higher self, guidance, God, source, by whatever name you know that and call that source energy. We believe and we say we live in an infinite and abundant universe. And then many, their lives are not reflecting that. So the belief is not truly there and they're not living it. It's a huge disconnect, and this affects your money. Huge, like nothing else. If you're going to have the belief, you have to be living in alignment with your beliefs or you create a big mess. We're going to move now into the meditation, and I want to bring first something to your attention in this chakra that is the pineal gland. A lot of people believe this brow chakra and that your third eye is right here. And actually your third eye is your pineal gland, which is located in the middle of your brain. Over time, this has been shut down. It has been not accepted, not encouraged. So the people that have a very active pineal gland end up being labeled as not normal, crazy, the misfits, the outcasts. At times they were burned at the stake and drowned and imprisoned on endless things. Everybody has this inside of them to some degree, and then some people have generational lineages, and some people have near-death experiences, and some people come in with more of this where it can actually be your vocation. It's your purpose. Everyone can have this. Not everybody is meant for that to be their purpose, to live it and have it as your job, but some people are, and they're the people who come to me and become my clients a lot of the time. If you look at my journey, I took very traditional means first. I was having a spiritual awakening at some point, but I didn't fully understand who I was and my purpose and what I brought to the world. And I was affected heavily by culture, society, my family, my friends, having children. You're affected by making sure your children are accepted and okay, and how you're presenting yourself to the world. So moving into the helper and healer role, and as my intuition and my healing gifts opened up, first, I went into nonprofit, and I went to graduate school, and I became a therapist, a counselor, and I got into counseling and guidance, and I worked through that. And then I ended up in a psychiatric hospital working, and I started seeing I'm not addressing the spiritual needs and the spiritual journey in every crisis, whether you say you believe in God or not, is a spiritual crisis and a spiritual journey. And I was talking with the hospital chaplains, and I really saw that. And I was very called to seminary, and I worked as a hospital chaplain. And then I saw that the work that I could do under my therapist license was so constricted, and there was all this energy medicine, and there were all these ancient wisdom and practices and other ways I could help people, and I let go of my therapist license. And by now I also had seminary. I was ordained, so I had the counselor and the chaplain. Then I opened my healing center, and I really got deep into energy medicine. And then I transitioned to coaching, so that I brought counselor, chaplain, energy healer, and coach. And then I learned how to bring them all together, how I teach people to build a personality brand that's all of you and show up with your unique signature. Your unique combination creates a unique contribution in the world. You can see by this example, I was living my purpose out in different ways, but I was playing it really safe. And it fit at different times in my life until finally I got to the place, I have to now do this as my own expression. I can no longer work for other people. I can no longer hide this. And then I actively started developing it, getting coached, learning about it, and experimenting with how to take my gifts out in the world. And this year, some things have come to the surface where I'm now in a new spiritual journey, which is amazing. This year has been so busy with business and big in business, and then isn't that the way it is? That's when these other things come in, this abundance and making sure I stay in balance and stay on purpose. So you're going to see as I move into the new year, some of these gifts again coming into the forefront, coming in different ways to serve, and it's all about finding what works for you. Really connecting into this pineal gland. If you sit right now, you get quiet and still, come into your body, make sure you're in your body. And this is something for you to start noticing what you notice and checking in with yourself. How often are you outside your body, above your body, over to the side, disconnected from your body? I lived that way for a lot of years, and it didn't serve me, because I lived for a time way up here, but not grounded and embodied enough, so my physical world was a wreck, a mess. And then I came in, I was like, I got to clean all that up. I better stop hanging out up here. But that's not it. You want to pull this heaven down to earth and live it here now, this spiritual experience and this spiritual journey. And I saw too many people in my community, once I started building and serving spiritual community, that are spiritually escaping and spiritually bypassing. and they're just going up here, and then their bodies are giving out, their physical surroundings, their relationships, their lives. Have you had this, or do you know someone? You can get too much up in this chakra and have that going on. So come into your body, being in your body, settling in, breathing into your heart. And then I want you to envision your crown opening up to source energy and this rod of light coming down from the heart of Creator down through your crown. And this little ball, this little golden ball is coming down the line of light from Creator, all that is, from the heart of Creator. And it drops right through the crown of your head and comes to settle in at what would be the midpoint of your brain. And you feel a sensation at the back of your neck, right there where your skull connects to your spine. And you become aware of that golden ball, this pineal gland, as it grows, as it starts lighting up, as it has a beat of its own. It remembers what it's here for. It remembers who you are. It wakes up every cell. It remembers your connection to Source. Every cell awakens in your body and remembers its job, who it is and why it's here. And this pineal is activated. And your third eye is open and ready to allow and receive. And then this golden ball of light travels down and it drops into your heart. It drops not right there in what you know as your heart chakra. It touches that and then it drops behind your heart into the sacred or high heart where you feel it at your back, in the middle of your back, and it lights up and it opens that all up for you. Breathing that in, feeling that. When you drop behind the heart, you open to the zero, you open to the all, you open to the void, where everything is possible and anything can be created. And then that ball of golden light is traveling again. It travels down right into the tailbone. It drops right there into your creative seat, into your sacral, and again it lights up. And now noticing all three of these points in the middle of your brain, in the high heart, right behind your heart, and in your sacral chakra are all pulsing. They're all lit up with golden balls, and this line of light, this solid rod of light comes down from the heart of Creator through your crown, through your third eye, through your throat, through your heart, through your solar plexus, through your sacral chakra, through your root, down deep into Mother Earth to connect at the heart of Mother Earth. And their roots coming out of the bottom of your feet, wrapping around that crystal and pulling that energy up. And you are lit up with this energy. And as all your chakras align to be in this rod of light, you're allowing, you're receiving, you're noticing the resistance, you're feeling this. You're breathing in. And we're going to go into our meditation we've been doing where you breathe in through the nose and you say to yourself, I am inhaling money. And you breathe out through the mouth, I am exhaling the lack of money. And we're going to breathe into the third eye chakra. And we're going to do it 3 times. When you're doing this as a practice on your own, you're going to do it until it becomes heavy and full. And now you can go out and practice with the root chakra, the sacral chakra, the solar plexus chakra, the heart chakra, the throat chakra, and the third eye chakra. Because we have activated and are activating all of these. So starting now, focusing on the third eye, first breathing into the heart, breathing out through the heart, and now breathing into the third eye. Saying to yourself, I am inhaling money. I'm breathing out. I am exhaling the lack of money. Again, breathing in through your nose. I am inhaling money. Breathing out through your mouth. I am exhaling the lack of money. And one more time, breathing in through your nose. I am inhaling money. Breathing out through your mouth. I am exhaling the lack of money. Feeling that connection with your third eye chakra. And now in that space, in that energy, recall the memory and feeling of having money, a time it felt good, it came in. What were you thinking? What were you feeling? What were you doing? What did you do with it? First, you might feel lower vibration energies like relief. And then getting yourself up to joy. Did you express gratitude? Did you feel joy and happiness? Every time when the little things come in, amplify that feeling. Thank you. Thank you for this, and bring me more and better. Amplify it so you become a match for that. A lot of people are stuck in a horrible cycle of just relief. Relief and fear, and relief and fear, and that can become an addiction. I caught myself in that cycle. That was a big thing for me to have to heal. Fear and relief, fear and relief. And getting beyond that, I was choosing to stay in that, and I was creating it because of the high that came from the relief. But relief is still a low addictive vibrational energy. And it's going to lead to more of what you need to recreate relief. You see that? Instead, joy, gratitude, happiness, exaltation. Recall the memory and feeling of having money and put it under your feet and hold it. Focusing at the same time on that third eye chakra. Now, expand the feeling to Mother Earth below, to Creator above, and on all sides of you. Expand that energy bubble and fill it with this. As above, so below. They match. They become one with that solid rod of light running through you, lining up your chakras, lining everything up, connecting you to Source above, Mother Earth below. Hold it. Focus your attention at the third eye. And now relax, letting it in, receiving and allowing. And now we're going to create our energy puck for this energy center. Put your hand out, your arm out, palm up, and now take it to the side. You don't have to know how this works. Suspend disbelief, close your eyes, hold your arm straight out, palm up, and you are asking to allow and receive all the supportive energies. Your higher self knows exactly what you need into this energy puck we are creating to help you clear, heal, and resolve everything we have addressed today in this session, everything that will support you in this journey. Receiving it, allowing it. When you're doing this at home and you have time to sit with it, do it until the energy in your hand becomes heavy and full. And now notice what you notice. If you're feeling sensations, if you're feeling the middle of your palm activate, if you're feeling heat, if you're feeling tingly, whatever it is, letting that energy build, calling it in to support everything you need. And now bringing it forward and placing it into that energy center. Giving your third eye chakra this energy puck, receiving and allowing. You will receive and allow all that you are willing and ready to. setting that intention. Your higher self and spirit will give you everything you need. You have free will. Receiving and allowing, bringing it in, breathing it in. Sitting with that and allowing it in. And while that's going on, letting this energy work. When we're done here, this energy can continue to work on you for 72 hours. So paying attention, are you thirsty? Are you hungry? Do you need rest? Do you feel like you need to go outside? Do you need to get in water? Do you need to use your oils? Have a healing bath? Listen to music? Whatever it is that you want and need, that you crave, give that to yourself. We are working with a lot of energy. We are moving and managing and shifting a lot of energy. Allow that. And as we're doing this and our eyes are closed and we're receiving that energy, just raising your gaze behind closed lids or behind relaxed lids, just up slightly, traveling up that rod of light all the way up to Creator, Creator of all that is, Source Energy, by whatever name you know it and call it, this Source Energy. And calling in, download into everyone who is agreeable, who says yes to receive and allow this energy download. God's definition of intuition. God's definition of the receiving and opening of your gifts. God's definition of clarity. Saying yes. Receiving and allowing this energy to come in and wash over you. Let it work, knowing it's doing its job. It's going where it needs to go. The energy is intelligent. It knows what to do. Calling in your higher guidance, your higher self, your angels, your guides, spirit. Letting that work. Setting the intuition. Setting the intention for connection with your intuition and your gifts. The opening of that, the spirit, the resources to support you in that. Allowing and receiving that in. Clearing, healing, resolving. Clearing, healing, and resolving. All that gets in the way, all those overlays. Now all this debris that's in your energy field, that we've broken up those blocks, that we've broken it up, and now there's debris. Calling in Creator. Creator, it is commanded to cleanse and protect. And taking a deep breath. I'm so grateful for you for joining me. Know that you can reach out to me at any time. I'm a resource for you. I'm a spiritual advisor, a teacher, an intuitive, a healer, a mentor, a coach, speaker and author, spiritual teacher, helping you, guiding you on this path. Connect with me on Facebook. You can go to my website, michellebar.com. If you haven't caught all the days of this Chakra Money Map Challenge, they are all inside of my private Facebook group that is free to join. Marketing and Mindset for Spiritual Entrepreneurs. Marketing and Mindset for Spiritual Entrepreneurs. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to see what this opens up for you. The journey to accept, to embrace, to allow and receive my intuition and my intuitive gifts, and to activate that part of my life and that part of my being changed everything. And the same can be for you. Thank you, and I'll talk to you again.